Yo gamers, what's up? It's Gold Demon. No preamble today. We're just gonna hop straight into it. So Prydwen, are, well, some people like to, call it names, has done a big update for their tier list. Or I say big in quotation marks because they didn't actually update everything. They only updated certain things when it comes to these characters, right? I don't actually need this right now because I'm not listening to anything, so it's not very important. So yeah, here's the updates. Character equipped level 80, best in slot, 4-star or 5-star light cone, including limited light cones, but at S1. This is the big change. All these 5 stars are now considered with their signatures. What's the reason for that? Well, that's what this part is for. In this update, we're adding March 7th every night, and in the tier list, moving tribute to the amplifier and overhauling the tier list categories where needed to better convey the state of the meta. Due to the scope of this update, we will not update every entry for each character. So yeah, there you go. Still, the biggest change we're making in this update is to swap from a strictly no signature tier list to one including them, right? Just zoom in, highlight, signatures are now included, okay? Previously, characters were assessed with and limited to standard S1, 5-star light cones, and any S5, 4-star light cones, and Herta's S5 light cones. So they're talking about the Herta shop. Under this new criteria, characters will still have access to the previously listed light cones, but may also be limited to S1 limited light cones as well. Here are the reasons we're making this change. Nowadays, characters are designed with their signature light cone as a core component of their kit, with the exception they are equipped with, they played with it equipped. The expectation they played with it equipped. This is especially true for damage-based characters, with many having no or incredibly limited alternatives. We have received feedback and agreed that many players evaluate characters' power level in the meta with signatures in mind, partly because of point 1, but also because more players own the signatures compared to playing the characters at E0, S0 based on our data. The difficulty of the game continues to increase, favoring vertical investment compared to horizontal. Many players are moving firmly towards selecting their favorite characters and investing heavily into them longer compared to putting them to E0, S0. I've said this for forever, vertical investment is king, because if you can't clear the content with those current characters, you either, invest in them further, you can clear, and or if you split yourself up too far, you're going to have a hard time clearing, because guess what? You pulled 50 DPS and you have 0 supports for this DPS, right? You vertically invest in the specific team so that that team can clear the content in a variety of modes, right? Some characters are disadvantaged because of that, because they don't have good variety. And that's why I would say I rate them a little bit lower than some others, because they, lack versatility and flexibility, stuff like that, right? There's nuance to that, but for the most part, I do agree with the objective here that, and the reasoning that characters should be evaluated with their signature in mind. Because there are a few characters, example Acheron, who do get a drastic change with their signature. Granted, I do think they should do that thing that they do with other games, because I know they did this with Wuthering Waves. I don't know why they didn't do it here. They just have a toggle. They have a toggle for 4-star Eidolons, which in the big 2025, I'll be honest, most teams are not using 4 stars, and the ones that are, who really cares? I don't know. It's not that big a deal. I think they should have a toggle for signature weapons. They have it in Wuthering Waves. I think all these games with this model should have that in mind, but that's up to them. Really, with these 5 stars, as they said, most of them are made with it expected to be used on them, so really here and there. That's just my personal preference. But continuing. With that said, we are not making this change lightly. First, we investigate multiple solutions. We considered splitting the tier list and having SIG and non-SIG versions, 6 total, I guess, for the 3 modes. But after actually making a draft, the majority of the tier list looked the same. Yeah, this is what I was going to get to. There's really only a few picks, like Acheron as the prime example, where there's like a decent, difference in terms of how the character performs with and without light cone, right? While the floor and ceiling of the character power did change with signatures added, the order within remained mostly the same, a very small number of shifts. We also experimented with implementing signature tag for characters that are overly impactful signatures. They found where to draw the line to be too subjective. Yeah, because I think a counter example is Silverwolf's light cone. and like Ruanmei's Light Cone. Both of those are bad. They just flat out suck, numbers wise. So like, you wouldn't be using their signature in the first place, right? And so like, are we comparing them to the rest of the roster, or are they like specifically outliers? Right? Because if the example is like Ruanmei, Silverwolf, where they've got straight up bad light cones, well then how does that look on somebody who is like Fei Xiao, who, or I guess Archer's more a better example, where it's like a what? Optimally, it's like a 16%, but realistically it's higher. Like, where does this line get drawn? So like, I think I understand, or I agree with what they're saying here. Either not enough characters having the tag or far too many. Yeah, for sure. Ultimately, our final decision is one that's been forced upon us by the state of the game. Debatably, you did choose to change the list. Is to make the full swap of signatures, or rather the best light cones. Does this mean that like considering Jingliu with Maidai's light cone? Because technically Jingliu's best light cone right now is Maidai's light cone. That being said, it's I don't know if it's gonna be in here. Probably not. Whoopsies. But yeah, I don't know. There's a few niche cases like that. As some characters don't use signature icons in the person slot. As always, if you listen closely, feedback and send it our way. Well, this video is my feedback, so there you go. As mentioned, we also we move Tribby from the support damage to amplifier. Tribby's dominance and the colossal usage rate. Okay, so obviously I haven't been uploading for a minute, but I mention this every time we do a tier list video of Prydwen. Usage rates are dumb and should not be used, should not be considered. I feel like I need to go back and record that video talking about why Prydwen is a bad tier list. That was a long video. I went probably too into detail. I definitely could have cut it down to 20 minutes. But like, why are we talking about usage rates? They should not be considered. This is stupid. I don't care that a character is more popular to people because of perceived biases. So that, like, it's so dumb. They shouldn't use usage rates. It makes no sense. It just undermines the character's performance because of people's bias and other factors. I hate this. Please stop using usage rates. Like, come on. Gate Captain has made ranking characters higher in the support damage an issue. So we're moving her the amplifier so we can re-rank most characters in support DPS category with most moving up tiers. I mean, look, I've said this many times before. We talk about it every time that pretty much everybody agrees that like Tribby should have been inside of amplifier to begin with, right? But like, why the fucking usage rates, bro? Whatever. Continuing. Why did I make my dog bark? Whatever. Let's move on to March of Evernight. Based on our testing, she performs exceptionally well as with main DPS and support roles. Either stealing Castor's team or acting as an upgrade alongside her. Evernight is at both T0 and T0 and MOC in Pure Fiction, but due to the overhaul of the power rankings in Apocalyptic Shadow and as being her worst mode, she's graded alongside characters now rated T1 as DPS, all of which are exceptionally competent as all of which are especially competent, and T.5 as a support DPS. Okay. We also want to make special mention for Dot and Apocalypse Shadow, as the shilling of free dot break in the mode is now coming to an end with this upcoming phase. We're maintaining the Fish Girl and her cohort and T1, T.5 for now, make a firm decision on their placement following the next phase results, which aren't massively favoring the archetype. We've been watching closely how these changes play out, and we'll make adjustments where needed based on the feedback of the next update. Yeah, I mean, listen, the moment these dot things go out, these characters are cooked. They're not that cooked. To be fair, like, Dot's a must, like, in the best position it's been in Star Wars history. So, like, that's good. And the new mode kind of forces you to use Dot. You can brute force it to an extent, but, yeah, I mean, like, Dot is in a really good place right now, regardless of what I said in the previous version of this video. Like, you know, like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, something like that, whenever I recorded it. Listen, all I can tell you right now is that the video that should have gone out before, you know, it would have been like probably a month by now. It was just me trashing on Dot, to be fair. I'm gonna do so less so in this one because they changed the tier list, but yeah. Those are the important changes. So let's actually look here. Do I agree with this? Do I disagree? Well, I agree to disagree on a lot of things. So first off, this DPS category, they did what I thought they should do. They have Kafka up here and, you know, Fish Girl over here. Again, partner plus plus and then her partner. That's pretty much the main point I had in the previous iteration of this. This character is nowhere near this level without having Kafka. You have to have Kafka to run Dot, right? It's that simple. That being said, Kafka with the proper Dot partner, which again would be her, would actually be support DPS category at this level. I think that's fair to say, right? So putting them up here, that's fine. In my opinion, though, I think they should be a tier down. Just saying. But like MOC, it's pretty decent for Dot, all things considered. So like, it's fine to have them up there. The performance probably is the main justifier. As I said, usage rates should not be factored. So if they're up here because of usage rates, Prydwen, drop them down. All right. As for the other people in this tier, they've already said Evernight, very good as main DPS. I've seen some people kind of slandering her. Not sure why. She totally deserves to be up here. She does a lot of damage, very easy to do stuff with. She just sort of sits there. You know, spam her skill, things blow up, right? It's like very basic character. And they put in work, right? And because of her extra synergy as a support for Mima Sprites, she can be ran as a sub DPS in those teams, and will be in future teams with Sairi, as you know, Sairi is a Remembrance character, right? So I mean, yeah, I think it's justified to put her up here. Her raw performance is, I would say, arguably good enough to be here. I say arguable because I do think Saber deserves to be in T0, but I mean, look, I just think this character is underrated. She performs way too good for like such a little investment, and has a really strong synergy with like even free-to-play stuff like RMC, for example, and we'll continue to get that going forward. So yeah, I don't know, I think Saber's a little underrated, but those are like the two ones I'd say kind of like don't deserve to be up here. Archer is very matchup dependent, but like when you are in a scenario where you can use him, he just destroys it. So I mean, valid. I think he could argue T.5. I get, from my use of it, I get more out of Saber, but he's still very good, right? Castorice, right now, Castorice is probably going to be performing this high due to Evernight being on the team now. So whether or not she deserves to be up here is going to be debatable, especially because a lot of performance and things that I've seen, Evernight performs better than Castorice as a DPS. So like you could argue moving her down or giving her the partner tag to justify the T0 rating. I think Castorice is a little overrated, like baseline, at least with her previous team being RMC, Triby, and Hyacinth. But with Evernight, the performance I think justifies being up there. Whether or not that justifies a partner tag is here nor there. Yeah, I don't know. I just think she's a little overrated. As for Finon and Anaxa, Anaxa is like Giga Broken, and he's getting more buffs. I mean, what can I say? The new chess girl, like, she just allows him to do, you know, skill after skill, even if it's not necessarily the most optimal, because, you know, characters like Robin, it's still really good and allows you to free up characters like Robin. So, yeah, I mean, he's really good. He's arguably the best DPS in the game right now. I mean, yeah. I don't know what to say. He's just crazy. He's crazy. I know there's a lot of people that downplayed him whenever he came out, and to this day still do, but like, genuinely, I just think they're kind of delusional. He is absolutely insane and does way too much for how bad his investment is. Because like his vertical investment on his teams are like dog. Like his vertical investment is barely anything. They're more sub DPS oriented. And then also his light cone is like hardly, and in some cases not even better than the free to play weapon you get for him, which is just insane. And when you look at his vertical investment options for like his team, it's like Sunday. It's like, well, Sunday's dupes suck, right? I mean, obviously you'd have Sunday's light cone, so like that's really good. but then like that's something that's him. And then we go over to, you'd probably use Ho-Ho, or really, ideally you're using one of those things that gives you SP, but let's say you're using Hyacinth, like her vertical investment really isn't all that good. And so it's not really helping him. It's better for the HP scalers, right? Ho-Ho is like, oh, she's slightly more SP positive, right? Whoop-de-doo. And then like Aventuring's not really doing anything for him. So his sustain options even, they're not good. So the only one that has like good vertical investment on the team is Robin, because Robin's Lycan's obviously going to help her get her energy back, give her bigger attack, and then of course if you go for dupes, you're going to get speed, which only matters on the threshold, so it's not that big a deal. But then also you get 24% res pin, which is the biggest upgrade there. But then like that's the only thing that matters for him. Like his vertical investment options suck, but then like he is still insane regardless, so he's definitely deserving of that. And then Chess Girl, like hers only exists for Finon if we're being real. These are just like nobody cares. I mean, like, look, this is pretty good. Like these are like okay upgrades, but nobody really cares about them, to be fair. It's not that big a deal. Finon, if you run him sustainless with his best supports, he deserves to be up there. Does that deserve partner tag? Again, debatable. As for T.5, I know I normally dog on Agalea, but I feel like in consideration, if we're going to lower those characters I mentioned earlier, that she could arguably put up one more, but maybe I'm biased because of a future character. Wink, wink. My Day, he deserves to be here. Yeah, I probably overglazed him in the past. Wait till next update. Already mentioned Saber, underrated. The Herta, this one is debatable because from my use, I get better performance and see better performance out of Acheron. That being said, with consideration of swapping the other tiers, maybe Acheron doesn't deserve T.5. I think she does because she just performs that well across the board, but like it's really debatable. Wait, APOC is 0.15, 1.5? I think the real contention here is like My Day, like My Day and some of these other characters like Boot Hill, like who can't easily get off their abilities anymore. I don't know. Look, I think Acheron floats within this tier. I think she could be up here given the scenario. But it's more so I'd say fight dependent, kind of like Archer, but I would also go for the Herta. I don't know. Like the main thing is I think Agalea is just a bit overrated in some cases. Same thing with Herta. But yeah, everybody else down here, it's kind of justified or just nobody cares. I mean, like Blades, whatever. Blade Jingli, they perform about the same. That's what it is. Fei Xiao is just here for MSC at least, and then Yunli is pretty much just like the baseline for characters, honestly. Good, but then nothing crazy unless you vertically invest into her. I don't know why Rappa and Firefly are still in the same tier. Rappa's fucking dog, so like, I don't know. I think Firefly's being, I mean, like, sure, Break's not the current meta, but like, I don't know, I think Firefly's being a bit undersold. Assuming you've got her full setup. No comment on these two. Just no comment on these two. Everybody else on here, we don't care because they probably didn't change it. As for the sub DPS, yeah, I mean, there's pretty much nothing to change here. Sorry, I get triggered every time I see Jade. This character fucking sucks. She does not... Dude, drop Jade 2 tiers. Yeah, okay, maybe not 2 tiers. Drop her a tier. Put her in T2. Put Topaz down, bro. Yeah, no, put Topaz down a half a tier. What is this? Nah, drop both of these characters. Insane work. Jade, overrated as hell to this day. It's insane. Topaz fell off because she got directly power creep by Cypher. Nobody cares about these people because they're 4 stars. And, wait, they're telling me Argenti's only this good as... Ooh. Really? Damn. I mean, like, he's bad, but... Nah, hold on. Wait a minute. Why is he not on the same tier as Jade? No. Him and Jade do the same shit on the same teams. Unless you're trying to do a Jade Blade team in Cope. No. Put these two on the same tier. This is ridiculous. Moving on. Amplifiers. I still don't think this character should be up here with the partner plus. But whatever. Sunday, yes, for now. RMC, I still think this is too high. Tribby, sure. However, Cypher, Tribby, and Silverwolf, I honestly think all 3... Well, if you want to... Okay, let's just say for the sake of the argument, Tribby is slightly better. At least put Silverwolf and Cypher in the same tier. I think they are all too close to be split up, but I can agree to disagree that Tribby is slightly better than the other two. Yeah. Bronya being in T.5, why? I'm pretty sure it's entirely because of Kevin. Doesn't mean she deserves T.5. Ridiculous. Robin. I know people are upset about the Robin rating, but let's be real. All these attack scalers use Robin Sunday. Because of Sunday, Robin's skill point inefficiency is no longer an issue for all these attack scalers. If you remember, back in the day, we didn't have Sunday. We didn't have skill point efficiency. Everybody was cooked. Not everybody can make use of Robin. Now every attack scaler uses Robin because Sunday allows it to happen. She's only up here because of Sunday. Just saying. And guess what? Next patch, she's cooked. For certain characters, not all of them. She's still gonna be good on like every other tech scaler. Ruan Mei. I feel like because of the buffs for Silverwolf and like these other characters existing like Tribby and Cypher, she doesn't deserve to be here anymore. And I'm like the biggest Ruan Mei defender. Sparkle. I don't know why Sparkle's up here. She's literally only good with Archer. This is just Cope. Move her down as well. Jiao Cho, valid, but you have to put Silverwolf above him. I'm like the biggest Jiao Cho defender too. His time has come. His time has come. And then the rest of them they probably didn't look at. Actually... Nah, wait, hold on. Silverwolf uses Cypher's Light Cone. She should definitely be up here. Unless Prydwen's being stupid again. I mean, they did just mention usage rates, so like... Honestly, usage rates are probably the reason... Actually, no, that is 100% the reason why Tribby is over Cypher. And the reason Silverwolf's not on the same tier. It's usage rates. I'm gonna crash out. Prydwen. Stop factoring things that have nothing to do with performance. Oh my god. Anyways. They moved Aventurine out of T0. I mean, this isn't agree to disagree. The main thing with him is that he is still really good. Sit there, tank, decent synergy. The thing is, Hyacinth is literally just the wall. You slap her on and you don't die. She is just the wall. She sits there, absorbs the damage because Ika is the emanator of veracity and just consumes everything in existence. And that's it. And so even if she debatably doesn't have as much synergy, I honestly think this is valid. Things will change once the new Dan comes out. And I still think she's gonna be better than the new Dan. But yeah. That I mean this one could be debated, but I think the power that she provides, especially at a S1 state for most of these other characters, it can justify her being above everybody else. Gallagher is starting to fall off because the enemies just do that much damage now. He's still really good, he can perform, but the enemy damage has gone super high. They do way more damage now. So he's starting to fall off a little bit. That being said though, he's on par with Ho-Ho and Lingsha, so this is valid. And nobody cares about the rest of them because they all suck. Fushuan overrated as well. Anything about the pure fiction tier list? I think Acheron's too low. No, there are usage rates, but not that many people use the Herta like that. If anything, the usage rates is why Herta's above Acheron. Also, they literally mention it right here of Trippy. That's literally the reason why Trippy is like right here. It's not just me like saying like it's not like me doing a conspiracy theory that's like, oh, they haven't mentioned it in a while, like I've said in previous videos. No, they straight up just say it right there. So like, yeah. I think Saber's still being underrated. Like, this is pure fiction, and I do think like Acheron should be moved up, but like Saber's definitely still being underrated. You literally you just slap this character on, they just deal damage. Like, it's so, I don't know. Bro, this is a diabolical screenshot. Oh my god. Yo, wait, hold on. This might have to be the thumbnail, chat. Yo. Oh, that's a diabolical screenshot. Oh, and fate. Oh. Ooh, wait a minute. Hold on. Hold on. Ooh. Ooh. That might gotta be the thumbnail. That's funny. Wait, what the? Why are they? Okay, I'm not gonna question them being T4 instead of T5 for pure fiction, but okay. Same with these other what the hell? Okay, you know what? This is nobody cares about the bottom of the list. Yeah, I don't know. I think this is fine for pure fiction. It's like MC's being a bit overrated. Yeah, I don't really see too many problems here. Oh, hey, look, these two are on the same tier. Oh, and these two are in the tier they should be. Great. In pure fiction, he can actually, like, do stuff. No, he's not the pure fiction god. No, no, no. Dude, he's been power crept. What? First off, he was bad when he came out. And that hasn't changed. There's just better characters. The other characters just clear better. They do more damage. Yeah. His AoE multiplier is like 200 unless you get the full ultimate off, by the way. Like it's not good. Yeah, 160 at 90 energy. Dude, the MC does more than this. Like we look at the high level one. It's 280 plus 9 times 6, right? Oh, my bad. Did that in wrong. There, 850. But this is like a bounce attack, so it's gonna be split between the targets, based on like, you know, if they're dead or not. But like, guess what? This is still smaller than Acheron's multiplier. Acheron has like a 2,400 something multiplier. for AoE. Like, Argentine's just not good. This is Acheron's a unit that came out like 2 patches after. Or 3 patches? 2 patches after? But either way. Argentine just like isn't good. So yeah. As for the other characters, I don't really see too much of a problem. Ooh. I mean, Cypher's good, but like her ability doesn't work that well in pure fiction. I don't know why. I think you should really just move up Saber and Acheron. I think that's like the only thing I change here. Yeah. As this for sustains, Fushuan still sucks. I don't know why she's there. Drop her. Apoc. Apoc. Wait. Well, she does do good toughness damage, so it makes sense. I also feel like Saber should be moved up. Dude, she was... I saw so many crazy videos of that one APOC with the Doomsday Beast. She was beating out literally everybody because she can like one turn her ultimate and just spam it like back to back. Again, I think they're underrating her. Fei Xiao has good toughness damage, so I guess it makes sense. I don't know about the Herta. Her single target damage is a little bit lacking. She's kind of carried by Anoxa. This is debatable. As for T1, I don't think Boot Hill's that good. I think he's just like falling off in terms of damage. Mostly. They did talk about how they're gonna adjust dot. Acheron's still really good in these stages, but like there's less stages now where you can prioritize her buffs. She's screwed over. The two of the recent bosses, despite them being lightning weak, screw her over. You can score good on them if you time your stuff right, but both Fei Xiao and Flame Reaver, whenever they get, jump into the back line, it just removes her buffs, and so you just lose out all your damage. The boss mechanics actually just screw her over, but like outside of that, she still performs at a good level. So like I think she should be higher up. Same with Jingliu. I think you can move both of these up. I don't know why. Why are these two in separate tiers? Come on. Wait, why is Rappa here? Hold on. Trash. Drop her. Nobody cares about anyone else. Sub DPS, these don't really matter. Yeah, Blade's gonna be lower because Evernight. And then let's see here. Also, welcome Alex. What's up? Supports for APOC. Again, I still think MC is being overrated here. Robin is interesting. I find less value in Robin than other characters, and then Chess Girl is probably being overrated, but that's entirely because of Finon. That's why they put her in a partner plus tag, because she's not that rating without it. So there you go. Bronia Sparkle too high still. Cypher and Silverwolf. Cypher's goated in this mode. Once again, I think this is a usage rates thing to where she's not as high as Tribby. Here nor there. Jiao Cho is pretty much tied to Acheron's existence, so once again, I don't know why. Like, just move her up. I don't know what's up with that. And then, you know, break is a little bit better in this mode. So yeah, there's that. Nothing much. I got my friend together. I am Cupid. Oh. Yeah. Hyacinth also being the best sustain. I mean, her performance in terms of being the wall, toughness damage, whatnot, I think it's valid to be up there. Even though Aventurine is a bit more, depending on the fight. This character is just more synergistic, or it's not so much synergistic, but her benefits benefit the stronger characters right now, right? The HP scalers, so it makes sense. Yeah, I mean that's about it. Chat, what do you think of this tier list? I think I kind of covered everything there. I don't know if there's much more to say. Yeah, I think it's okay this time around. I do like the fact that it's all S1. I would like to know what light cones these are the characters are using, because again, I gave out a couple examples of characters that don't want to use a light cone. And another one is Kafka. Kafka wants to use tutorial at her baseline right now. So there's a few, you know, niche examples in there. But yeah, if you agree, disagree, tell me about that in the comments. I do want to know your thoughts, like always. Yeah. Rappa too high? I think at the end of the day, the biggest one is Rappa being too high. I think that's the biggest one. Rappa's too high across the board. Once again, I'm going to keep saying it, Saber's underrated. Those are the biggest ones for me. I don't care so much about the Acheron ones, but I do think she deserves to be moved up across the board. And that's like those are like the big takeaways. Oh, also some of these supports not really justifying their rank. At least you can add like 20 more partner tags. I don't know. Yeah. Yukong too low? Okay, Gooner. Yukong is not being used ever. Okay, Castori's too low. Dude's rage baiting. Yeah. Excuse me. That's the video. Like, subscribe. Tell me your thoughts down below. Do you agree, disagree? Am I off my rocker? I'm not. And I'll see y'all in the next one.